Well, good morning. I'm Mary Winters. I am the owner of About Senior Solutions, a gerontologist, and you are watching Visionary Aging. We will talk about the amazing power that you have to own your own vision of aging. We do that with resources and talking about problem solving and directing you to where you might need to go in your journey of aging. So today we have a question. We also have a great guest. We have Tyler Yang with Edalegacy on with us, so that's very exciting. And we'll have Melinda on. She will answer some questions regarding fitness and nutrition. So let's go ahead and get started with Stephen. Let me see if I can find his little intro here and see what question we have for today. Morning, Steve. How are you?
I'm good. Nice and dry.
Yeah, it was pretty wet yesterday. I'm great. What kind of a question do we have today?
Sure. So we have a very interesting question. Comes from one of our viewers. They're concerned. They have an aunt that lives in Oregon who wants to relocate to Southern California, and they're not sure what steps they need to do to make that happen.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a process. So insurance and doctors are an obvious one. You'll have to have new of everything. And so looking at what her needs are and looking at what types of specialists or primary physicians she would need. Obviously checking a location for her to move, if they want her to move in with them, or are they looking at a community for her to move? Do they know what type of needs she has? So she may have, I don't know if she has memory loss or she's very fit and independent and looking for maybe an apartment or a condo that she wants to buy. But it sounds like she definitely wants to be near family and she's willing to do this move. So we have a big checklist. If somebody wants to reach out to us, they can. 626-359-0108. And we can certainly talk through what types of things they would need. And actually our office can even set all those things up for them too, set them up with tours to go look at communities. But it would be really nice for her if she has the opportunity or has the ability to participate in that function of finding a location or, like enjoying a particular space of some kind, or what city would she like to be in. So yeah, finding out where you are, getting those locations. We could set you up with a Medicare specialist. I'm assuming her aunt is over 65 and would qualify for that. So those are the two big ones. And
most communities do virtual tours? Or
they can do virtual tours. Yeah, a lot of them can. So COVID really kind of changed that for better or for good. There are some interesting little things that they are able to do now.
Right.
Even if it's FaceTime, I'm sure the staff can walk through and kind of talk through something. Sometimes it's hard if someone has some real cognitive challenges and the decision may not be left to them. But it still might be nice if they have two rooms at the same place. Would you like this one or this one when she gets there? Other times it's just, wonderful to have everything set up with all their belongings. There are also some great moving companies who will move her things from there and set her up all in the same day, like she was never missed a beat as far as just being completely set up, like she'd been there forever.
It's funny, when I first had a question, that's what I was thinking more along the lines of, like, logistically, what do we need to do? Can she travel? Can she get on an airplane, or does she need ground transportation? And
all of those things too. So yeah, going back to transportation, what does she need? Will the family go out and get her and bring her back? Is she able to travel on her own? All of those things in regards to planning in advance with the travel agent or with the airline. Are
Right.
is she able to fly? Some people can't. So is that going to be a long trip down here from Oregon? So all of those things definitely need to be reviewed and checked out. And it's not an easy task, but it's not hard. So like I said,
Just a
all
lot
of
of steps.
well, yeah, there are a lot of steps. There are a lot of steps, and the biggest thing too is making sure that she's good here. I don't know if she owns something there. That's another issue. So how are we removing everything from the house there? And that might
Right.
take some time in regards to going back after she gets settled, or does she have a home there that's going to be sold? And is she able to make those decisions and do that on her own, or is she going to need help? And who's helping her with that? So yeah, it's a lot, but it's not undoable. We've done it many times before, from Florida to Oregon to Washington to just all over, actually all over the world. So
Right.
it's we'll get her here safe, if that's the big thing. Make sure that her
With the
specialist.
resources.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
So yeah, so get all the resources set up, and she'll be in great hands. Um, we have a great guest on today, um, Tyler Yang with Edalegacy.
mhm.
So neat what he's put together. You could put recipes and stories and just really fascinating all the things that he thought of to put in this kind of repertoire of memories for each individual person, however they want to set it up.
Right.
I'll
Looking
let
for
you share what the EDA stands for because I think it's pretty cool.
excellent.
Yeah. So you come
Yeah.
back at the end, tell
We'll
us
see you
about
at the end.
River. All right. Sounds great.
Have a good show.
All right. Thanks. Yeah, we have Tyler Yang, and he's coming on from Edalegacy. He's really excited to hear more about what he does and how he's presenting this to the community. Welcome, Tyler.
Thank you.
Such
Hi,
a
Mary.
hi.
Okay.
So such a great platform that you put together. EDA. Tell us what EDA stands for. Wanted you to share that.
Yeah, no, of course. Thank you for having me on. Thank you about Senior Solutions and for you having me on the show.
Absolutely.
EDA Legacy stands for Everybody Deserves a Legacy. It's a free platform that allows people to pass down their legacy to future generations. And you can do this through personalizing your own profile, whether it's bringing in pictures or videos and writing stories about yourself. And you're able to pass down, once you personalize your profile, to your children, your grandchildren, great grandchildren.
Really great. So was there something that you felt like you missed out on a family member, or was just something that really important that you came across and thought this has to come out for future generations? What kind of was the impetus to make you decide that this was important?
No, that's a great question. I would say more so just like stories from my grandparents, my parents, and just like hearing about like their lives and our family history and knowing that I'm not going to be able to remember every single story that they tell me and all the little details that they have. And I wanted ultimately like my children and my great grandchildren to have that ability to just like know like more about our family history. Because I wish I knew where like more about my great grandparents and like what they were like and where they were from. And I want my children and grandchildren to have that.
I love that. In fact, it's so interesting too because you can have photos, but you don't always necessarily know what their personality is like, hear their voice, how tall were they.
Yeah.
It's all really kind of interesting stuff. Or how did I get so tall? Or how did I get so short? How come this happened? It's like, oh, because your grandfathers were 6 feet and your grandmothers were 5 feet, or
Yeah.
whatever the
Yeah.
situation might be. It's
Yeah.
always so interesting. So I'm going to go ahead and put your contact information below, edalegacy.com and edalegacy1@gmail.com. The other thing that I think is really great, Tyler, is you put this together with a co-founder, I believe David,
Yes.
and you have this platform is free for people.
Yeah. So me and Dave started this platform a few years ago, 3 or 4 years ago now. And I came up with the idea and I ultimately went to him. I was like, hey, like, I think this is a really good idea. I think this could help a lot of people. And he kind of was the development side of it, coding the whole website and everything. And then I was more so trying to get the platform out to people. And we've worked together, and the platform is free. We want to make sure that everyone has the chance to like have a legacy. I think nowadays it's really hard to kind of like compile everything together into one place.
Yes.
Like we have a lot of photos, we have stories, and just to have everything into one place where like how the platform, I guess like a little bit of a glimpse into how the platform works is like you have a family tree and you're able to like click on different family members and you can see their profile. So it's an easy to use platform where you just type in someone's email and add them to the tree, and they get added, or they get a join link to join the platform, and they can see your profile and everybody else's profiles in the family tree. And yeah, I just wanted to create a place where you can organize everything as well as make sure that everyone has the opportunity to do it.
Yeah, it's so great. And just even thinking, you thought about things like recipes and things too, which I thought was so interesting, because that is such a just a remarkable part of your growing up, and traditions that we have and things that we savor and make us feel good too. So I have a
Yeah.
box of recipes that got lost along the way, and I so wish I would have had something like this to put those on and share all these recipes that my grandmother and my mother-in-law shared, and really, really wonderful things.
No, definitely. I mean, my mom has the same thing where she just has like a list of recipes, and I don't know what I would do if that like ended up getting lost. I feel like she has all these recipes in her head and she can do them super easy. Like, oh, just from like memory, like, she kind of just does it. Yeah. Doesn't even need to like measure anything out.
She's an
But
expert.
yeah, she's like really good at what she does. But to have, um, kind of just a place where she can write it down and I can like repeat the recipe if I wanted to. Just giving like the platform allows for that, recipes and any traditions that you have with your family, whether it's like a Christmas tradition or you guys do something on the New Year's, you can just type that out and like your kids and grandkids could know like kind of like a glimpse into like a day in a life for you.
Do you have some stories to share about how people are using your platform?
Yeah, I think like for me, I have my parents and like my grandparents as well. My dad, like, we'll just talk about. I know like my dad has done, like some of our stories. We have prompts where it's what are like your earliest childhood memories. Sorry, and he's like one of his things is like I like used to ride the bus to school every day, and like I remembered this. So it's like stuff to like that where I don't really get to see my dad in that light.
Yes.
Um, and it's really cool to see that. Like, and like I hear stories from like my grandparents and like my grandmother's like, oh, I used to go to school, like middle school, and play like on the playground, for example, like that. And it's like getting to see them in like a different light is like really cool.
That is really amazing. Yeah, it was. My dad was already sick and kind of losing his voice a little bit, but we came across an old videotape that he made for my brother's birthday years ago, and he couldn't go. So it was like such a treasured little piece of memory. And what you're creating is just such, like you said, it's a legacy. It's such a great thing to be able to leave for other family members and your children and their children. You don't even,
Yeah.
they're not even in our vision at this point, but it's there for them. It's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
What else do you think that we should know? How it sounds like it's pretty easy just to go ahead and add a story, or what are the other features too?
Yeah, the platform is really easy to use. I would say there's like two main parts to a profile. There's going to be like a stories page where you can write stories about yourself. And then there's a timeline page where you're able to talk about any major life points, whether it's like you graduated college or like graduated high school. You could put in pictures and talk about like how you felt during that time. To like smaller events where it's maybe like a family vacation or a day trip that you had with your friends, and you can just add pictures and like write anything you want about like that day. And then once you create your profile, you get put into a family tree, and you can add from there, you can add like your kids, your grandkids, and they can see your profile, like your timeline and the stories that you created. And then in your family tree, there's an artifacts page, and that's where you can pass down your recipes, because everybody in your family tree, they can um, they can collaborate with each other to add, like someone like your mom can add like a recipe, or your brother can add like a family tradition that you guys normally do with the family. So that's like most of the, yeah, that's all the features for the platform we have right now.
That's great. It's just amazing. I love the idea you put together. I love the concept of family and saving those traditions and sharing memories. Really wonderful, wonderful job, really. And so great to be free. And I think this is something that I'll have all my care managers look into so that they can start adding stories and so forth with our clients if the families are interested in doing that. So thank you for that work. That was really great. What a nice little happenstance meeting too over at USC to see you. And thank you for agreeing to come on to the program and sharing this. So one more time, you tell us, how do we get a hold of you?
Yeah, the website is edalegacy.com. It's at the bottom of the link. And I can also, yeah, it's at the bottom of the link. And then the email, if you want to reach out with any questions, comments, anything that you want to reach out to me about, is edalegacy1@gmail.com. And yeah, thank you, Mary, for your time. It was really good seeing you at the USC event. Yeah, and thank you, About Senior Solutions, for having me on the show.
Oh, no, it's our pleasure. Thank you so much. And if you can make it to the end, we'd love to bring you back, and we'll talk for our weekend. So thank you so much, Tyler. We'll look forward to getting on to EDA Legacy and making a difference with our clients too.
Thank you.
All right. Have a great one.
You as well.
So very exciting. I love what he put together, and hope that you'll go to edalegacy.com and start your own profile. So very exciting. In the meantime, I want to bring Melinda in, and we'll talk a little bit about some nutrition and health. Hold on. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
You're back in the car. So tell us, what kind of great information do you have for us today?
I think that we should just have a quick chat about boosting immunity now
Great.
that cold and flu season. Boosting immunity, obviously the big thing is eating all those gorgeous fruits and vegetables that have the vitamins and minerals that our body needs to stay healthy.
Yeah.
All the healthy foods. I love this time of year for broths and soups that have tons of veggies in, meat if you like meat, and just those really hearty, vitamin rich, nutrient dense stews and things like that. So, including those into your diet as much as possible. Um, it's a kind of fallacy, or it's thought of as a fallacy, that if you're cold, like that kind of old wives' tale that if you get chilled, you're gonna catch a cold.
Right. If you go wet, your hair's wet.
Yeah, they've like debunked that, but I think that there's a lot of truth to that, actually, because if your body is fighting to stay warm, it's not fighting off invaders, immune system invaders. Like it's using too many resources to keep your body temperature up. So I do think that there is truth to that. So wearing layers and bundling up when it's chilly, making sure that your body temperature doesn't fall, or if that, sometimes it's harder in Southern California to know if it's really warm out or if you need a coat.
True, especially
So,
right
making sure that you're dressing appropriately for the weather. And then, getting your exercise and your sleep. Sleep is really important for immunity. So, making sure you're getting the sleep that your body needs to stay healthy and strong.
Well, and we used to say that not getting enough sleep wouldn't kill you, but we do know that that is a very essential part of
Mhm.
well and avoiding getting sick. It may not specifically kill you, but it will lead to it. So
Yeah, it's
absolutely.
really important for recovery and repair. So
Yes,
as through our day, our body is fighting things off and engaging in the elements, so to speak. And then when we go to sleep, that's the body's time to kind of repair, recover from the day and get us ready for the next day.
for sure. Absolutely. So yeah, I thank you for that. Let's go ahead and we're going to bring Steve back. And oh, you know what? Let me just first really quick I'll bring up Shape Up really quick so that we can look at some of those 7 essential things that really support your longevity and well-being. So healthy life balance in Shape Up is basically what you're talking about, Melinda. If you don't have enough sleep, if you don't have that laughter, that balance in your life, you're managing that sugar intake and you're managing what you might need in regards to any kind of medications or well-being, that will really affect us. So, but spiritual community, our healthy life balance, attitude and influencers, our physical activity, our eating habits, united family and purpose, all of those things tie into supporting our well-being and creating the best life we can have for ourselves. And we get to choose which little things we want to work on or avoid or progress. And we're here to help people with that. So let me go ahead and I'll bring Steve back. And
Yeah, 100%. All of those areas are going to, enhance our immunity.
yes.
Even the spirituality and the family and being with whether it's your chosen family or your bloodline family. Those
Well,
are all community.
absolutely. It doesn't have to be a blood relative to be your family. And let me go ahead and I'm going to bring Tyler in too, because he's still with us. And I think the idea of his platform too is so great because it supports that idea of communication and storytelling and sharing the heart and that united family piece. And I think it's such a great value for supporting our well-being. It's just so great to be able to have that connection to ask for the information and then to share the information after. Just such a great thing that you're doing. Really love it.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think community.
Yeah. So, Stephen, what do we have as far as our day in sports today?
Sure. So the year was 1997. The location was Detroit, Michigan. And on this date in 1997, Scotty Bowman, the coach of the Detroit Red Wings, became the first NHL coach to win 1,000 games. So they defeated the Dallas Stars 4-3. Scotty Bowman is arguably the greatest hockey coach in NHL history. He won 9 Stanley Cup titles with 3 different teams. He's the only coach to take 3 different teams to the Stanley Cup championship. Finished his career with 1,244 wins. Was a very unique person. He often drew the ire of players and fans. He was very controlling and used a lot of scare tactics to motivate his players. But if you look at the results speak for themselves. So that's what happened on this day in 1997.
Nice. So that's a great one. Really good. Well, guess what today is? Other than it's February 2nd, it is Groundhog's Day. So you don't know. Did you hear if the groundhog saw his shadow today or not yet?
I did not. I've heard about that today.
It's Groundhog's Day.
I'll have to check into it. But if you would like that for free, it has an entire month of wonderful things through the day. Yesterday was probably my favorite. It was Dark Chocolate Day. And we also have these fabulous crossword puzzles in here, or word search puzzles that associate with chocolate. Today it'll be something in regards to Groundhog's Day, but it's a great thing to communicate with your friends and family. In fact, it might even be a fun thing for Tyler if you have family members who are having a little bit of trouble starting to kind of start off their conversation. It might be a nice way just to get the conversation rolling. Tomorrow is the day the music died. So it's we're talking about Billie Holiday and some of the other big, wonderful people that we miss in music. But go ahead and you can get that for free. Jenny will get that out to you, GINNY at aboutsenioursolutions.com, and you can enjoy that. Share it with your family, share it with friends, give it to anyone you want.
One of my favorite Bill Murray movies.
Yeah, it is great. It is great. So yeah, we'll go ahead and let's see. We've got what else are we going to want to talk about? You know what? Really quickly, I think I want to talk about our Shape Up program. So let me just do this little quickie little commercial. Yeah, so we have a really great program called Shape Up, and we talked a little bit about that in that little page that I set up. But if you are interested in any more information on that, we would love to get that out to you. So yeah, it's we do that individually. We can do that virtually. We do that in groups. We've been doing that in senior centers. So it's a really great way to engage with people who normally would not have that really great activity that they need, some kind of one-to-one, so that they're really communicating. We know that when somebody is not communicating, using their ability to speak and think and talk, that they decline more in their cognition. They decline faster. So if you need some direction in that, or you would like some help, we're here to give you some answers on that. So 626-359-0108. Once again, Melinda, why don't you talk about the Strength Shop and how to get a hold of you there?
Yeah, if you have any questions about the strength training, nutrition, or even our new somatic experiencing is kind of a therapy body to heal trauma, just give us a call at 626-999-4850, and we're happy to answer any questions about enhancing your health.
Nice. And then I'm going to ask Tyler to go ahead and have people share how people get a hold of you too. I just set up the Edalegacy contact there.
Yeah, our website is edalegacy.com if you want to create a profile and share it with your family members. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out at edalegacy1@gmail.com, and I'll be the one responding for that.
Great. And if you have any questions for Stephen McCullough, go ahead and send those to info@aboutsenioursolutions.com, and we will respond to your questions on our program. So thank you, everyone. It was a great program. Tyler, love what you're doing with Edalegacy, and we're looking forward to seeing everybody again soon. Have a great weekend.
Have a great
weekend. Thank you.
Thanks.